Welcome to Life Editor Weekend. I am so happy that you are joining us today. This is your chance to learn my 5-step life editing process and how you can edit every area of your life and business so you stop procrastinating and get stuff done. We are having so much fun during the retreat, and we have just reached the halfway point. Halfway through the retreat, here we go. How are you feeling, life editors? Are you keeping your energy up? I want to make sure that you understand that this is a weekend retreat. So though we are filming and doing all the live sessions on Friday, you have all weekend to enjoy this retreat. So don't feel like you have to get through every session. And if you do need to watch these on replay because you're busy during the day or it's the middle of the night somewhere else, be sure to watch the replay and pause the videos and go through them at your own pace. All right, so let me introduce myself. I am Sage Grayson, and I am a former book editor turned life coach. And I help ambitious women edit their habits, routines, and mindsets to balance their happiness at work and home. So I'm a life editor. And guess what? So are you. If you are brand new to life editing, then you are going to love this Life Editor Weekend retreat because I just walked you through the 5 steps of my life editing process. So be sure to go back and watch those sessions so you can learn all about the ins and outs of life editing. Plus, this session is a real special treat because I am sharing my top 10 life-changing lessons from my 10 years as a life coach. Holy moly, can you believe it? I have been doing this for 10 years. I've been running my own online successful life coaching business for 10 years. It kind of blows my mind when I think about it, but I'm so happy to be here. And I have learned quite a few things over the years, and I have made quite a few mistakes too. So don't worry, you can learn from my mistakes so you don't make them. And I've got some really great tips and strategies that are going to help you elevate yourself to your next level of success. Now, before we get started in this session, I want to make sure that you have already downloaded your Life Editor Weekend Virtual Retreat Workbook. So click the link in the description for this video to download your workbook because we are filling out the pages and we're actually going to use what we're doing in every single session when we make your 12-week plan at the end. So don't flake out about this. Make sure you download your workbook and you're actually doing the work. Now remember, you can always pause the videos or come back to them this weekend. Make sure you're doing the work. All right. And for every session of Life Editor Weekend, I'm hosting a giveaway. So for each session, I'm giving away a different one of my digital programs to help you edit your life. And specifically for this one, I'm giving away a copy of my Startup in 60 program, which makes sense because we're talking about businesses. And if you are starting up this business or thinking about it, then you're going to love Startup in 60. Startup in 60 is a time management course for busy women who want to finally start their own businesses, whether they have 60 days, 60 minutes, or just 60 seconds. It's a really beautiful program, and I'm so proud of it. We take you through 60 days of content, and every day you can either do 60 minutes or 60 seconds of work. And this program actually came about because my clients were complaining that they didn't have enough time to start a business. And I'm like, yes, you do. So I don't want to say out of spite, but maybe a little bit, I made this program to prove to them that they could start a business in as little as 60 seconds every day. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but it's really true. And you can talk to some of the ladies who have completed the Startup in 60 program. I know a lot of them are watching right now, but you really can start a business from scratch in just 60 days with just 60 seconds of work per day. So if you are interested in Startup in 60, be sure to enter the giveaway. And the way you enter this session's giveaway is by leaving a comment underneath this video on Facebook or on YouTube. Either way works. And remember, you've got all weekend to do this. You've got through Sunday, hold on, looking at my calendar. You've got through Sunday, June 13th, 2021. Sunday, June 13th, 2021, to leave a comment to enter this session's giveaway. So I would love to see you win Startup in 60. I think you're really going to love it. All right, and before we get started, at the end of this session, I will show you how you can apply for Life Editor Academy, which is my mastermind group, and it kicks off today. Doors are open today for Life Editor Academy. So click the link in the description for this video for all the details about Life Editor Academy, and I'll give you more details as soon as we get to the end of this session. All right? So in this session, we are talking about everything that I've learned over my 10 years of being a life coach. Ready? Let's go. All right. So my journey to life coaching happened over time. I didn't go to school for life coaching. I didn't think like as a child, I want to be a life coach. I didn't even think life coaching was on my radar when I was younger. It just didn't exist back then. I wasn't even thinking about it. But I guess as I look back, a lot of the things that I've done over my life, or a lot of things about my personality, really lend themselves to coaching. And it kind of, at least to me, it feels inevitable that I would be in some kind of coaching or teaching capacity as my career. So here's how my life coaching journey began. Now, I went to college for physical education and journalism, which seems like a little bit of an odd pairing, but not when you really think about it. So I lived in Chicago when I was in college. And for those of you who know the Chicagoland area, there are many, many, many healthcare organizations in Chicago. And I knew I wanted to do healthcare publishing. Now, the school that I went to didn't specifically have a healthcare publishing degree. Other schools do. So I kind of cobbled together mine with physical education. So I got all of my anatomy and my medical terminology and all of that good stuff. And then I also got my journalism. So I learned about writing and public speaking and all of that. So I knew both of those would really help me in healthcare publishing. And I did. So when I graduated, I very easily got healthcare publishing jobs. And I worked as a book editor in healthcare publishing for 10 years before I transitioned to life coaching. Why? Why did I leave book editing? I mean, I still love editing. I think it's fun. I'm not as anal about it as I used to be, but I do love editing and I love book editing. But what happened was maybe specifically my type of editing that I was doing. So like I mentioned, I worked for medical organizations editing their healthcare and medical textbooks. So none of my books that I worked on would you see at the local bookstore, but your doctor probably used the books that I edited in medical school. So I really enjoyed that. But my specialty was palliative care or end-of-life care. And for those of you who've read anything about end-of-life care, we had a lot of interviews with patients who were dying. We talked about different therapies and methods of helping people at their end-of-life stage. And I remember editing the books, or if we were doing a podcast with a patient and we wanted some follow-up questions or whatever, we could never get those answers because the patient died. Or I would be editing chapter after chapter of how these doctors helped a patient as they died, or the mistakes that were made in their end-of-life care. And after a while, I just got really, really burned out about reading about disease and death and suffering for so many years. And I've heard that this is actually very common in healthcare or any other kind of medical profession, that eventually just kind of the despair of it all gets to you. And I think the people who are able to stay in the medical fields and stay in healthcare for the long run and kind of put their caregiving side forward and get through it are beautiful and brave and wonderful people. But for me, I could really, really feel that my mental health was being affected by being in this healthcare, palliative care environment all the time. So we got Blessy, love from India. Hi. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I know we have life editors from all over the world watching today. And remember, leave a comment and you'll be entered in this session's giveaway. So thank you so much for commenting. All right. So I was burned out from healthcare and I wanted something different. But what was I going to do? I wanted something that would make me light up inside, that would make me feel happy and joyful every single day. And also, I think maybe some of you other women are feeling this too. I was getting a little burned out, jumping through hoops to get paid what I was worth. So I worked at several healthcare publishers over the 10 years that I was in medical textbook editing. And I would get to the top of my pay grade and I would ask for a raise or a promotion, and there'd be nowhere for me to go. There would be no place to move me into. They had no more money to give me. So I'd have to quit that job, get another job that paid more, and then get to the top of that pay bracket and then say, I want to keep going. And there'd be no other position for me. There'd be no more money they could give me. So I had to quit that job and go to another publisher. And this happened at least 3 or 4 times. And it was exhausting. It was exhausting having other people determine what my work was worth. And I was tired of it. I was tired of having to job hop just to get paid what I was worth. And it was really telling the last job that I worked as a book editor. When I quit and finally decided to do life coaching full time, it was really telling that they took my position and broke it into 2 full-time positions, that the work that I was doing was enough for 2 full-time people. And that just really aggravated me that like I had been like killing myself doing all this work. And I loved the work for a long time, but I knew I wasn't getting paid what I was worth. And even when I did get raises and did get bonuses, I knew I could be doing so much more. And I hated other people dictating my worth. So I guess that was a big part of it too. All right, so I was done with healthcare publishing and I wanted to move on. But what was I going to do? At this time, and this was in 2011, I had a mildly successful advice blog. And some of you might remember it. It used to be called Sweet and Sage. And I say mildly because I had like 10 readers. It was only, there are some people who knew about it, but I would say mildly successful. I had some people viewing it. But I loved it. I loved giving advice. I loved talking about self-development and habits and happiness and stuff. But one thing I noticed is that other people out there were giving the same advice that I was giving, but they were getting paid for it. Like these were life coaches and other kind of self-development gurus who were getting paid for the stuff I was giving away for free. So it was like, ding, I had a light bulb moment. And I thought, well, what if I transitioned my advice blog to a life coaching business? So that's exactly what I did in June 2011. And that's why we are celebrating 10 years of my life coaching business today. So when I started my life coaching business, it was really pretty vague. I gotta say, if you look back at some of my old posts in the archives, it's pretty vague. I'm like, let me help you live your dreams, or you can do it. And it was like, what does that mean? It was like, I'll help you do whatever. I was working with anyone and everyone. And it didn't really have any kind of zing to it. There was nothing special about my life coaching business. I didn't differentiate myself from any of the thousands and thousands of other life coaches out there. And believe me, there are a lot. There are a lot of other life coaches out there. But one thing I noticed after I started working with a bunch of clients, and sometimes you just don't know these things until you actually do it. So that's why I'm always about taking some kind of action. But anyway, as I was coaching my clients, I noticed that I was helping them change and improve their lives the same way I used to edit book manuscripts. And I know that sounds a little weird. Like I'm looking at my clients and I'm picturing them as books. Like, how can I edit this and make it a good next chapter? But it's true. I was editing people's lives and I didn't even know it. So I was like, this is it. I'm going to combine my book editing past with my life coaching future. And that's how I created my life editing process framework, which we just went over in the previous sessions, the 5 steps of my life editing process. And it made sense. And it made sense to my readers too, because I wasn't just talking to anyone and everyone. I was talking to a very specific niche. I was talking to type A women who are ambitious, who are analytical, who are editorial, and they like step by step processes. That's what editing is all about. And that's what life editing became. So I ended up getting a lot more clients and a lot more publicity and a lot more traffic once I created my life editing process, because I wasn't talking to everyone. I was talking to life editors. I was talking to people who get it. So I'm not one of those hippy dippy spiritual coaches where we go chanting in the woods or whatever. I know it doesn't look like it today because I look pretty hippy dippy today, but I gotta say, I do love those free form, free flowing spiritual coaches. I love them too. That's not the kind of life coach I am. I'm fun and happy and we have a lot of good times as we're editing, but we get stuff done. We are very focused on doing step by step work to reach our goals. So if you are type A, if you're ambitious and you like having everything laid out in front of you so you know exactly what to do without any vagueness, then you're going to love life editing. So now that I am a coach and I have my own life coaching business, I do a lot of different things. So of course, I offer private one-on-one coaching with me. So if you want to just work with me, I do that as well. I also do group coaching. I do digital programs and products such as the Startup in 60 program, which I'm giving away for this session, or my Edit My Life Planner, which is a digital planner. I do a group mastermind, which is my academy. And as I mentioned before, doors are open right now for the academy. So click the link in the description to apply for the academy. I also do live retreats and events. Now, Life Editor Weekend used to be a live retreat where we'd rent out a hotel or we'd rent out a vacation home and we'd have fun together all in person. It'd be very luxurious and relaxing, but we're doing it virtual now. So we're editing, as it were. So I also do speaking events. So people hire me to speak at their different conferences. I've been interviewed for podcasts. I used to have my own podcast. I do teaching programs and other kinds of teleseminars. So my business has grown dramatically. I have lots of different revenue streams and lots of different ways that you can experience life editing. So maybe you just enjoy my free blog posts or my free worksheets or my free videos on YouTube, but you can also step it up and do my digital planner or do the Startup in 60 program or join my membership site, which is my Life Editor Clubhouse, where we add new content every single week and we hang out and talk in our Facebook group. Or maybe you want really big coaching help and you want tons of accountability. In that case, Life Editor Academy might be a great fit for you. So click the link in the description for all the details about the academy. So that's what I do as a coach. And through these past 10 years, I've made a lot of mistakes and I've had a lot of really, really big successes too. So during this session, I want to share 10 life-changing lessons from my 10 years as a life coach. And as I was writing my outline for this session, I got to tell you, it took me a long time to narrow it down to just 10. Because I'm like, girl, I got like 50 things to tell you about all of these things that you got to know about starting a business. And I kind of do that in the Startup in 60 program because I give you 60 different things to do. But I thought I'm going to share these lessons that I learned. And even if you're not a life coach, these are things that you can apply to your business, no matter what kind of business you might have, or just to your daily life to be happier and more fulfilled in whatever it is that you do. Okay, so the number one lesson that I want to share is start before you're ready. Yeah, start before you're ready. I know a lot of us can delay following our dreams because we don't feel quite ready enough, or we want things to be just so. We want things to be perfect before we get started. But if you wait for things to be perfect, then you're going to be waiting forever, or at least a very, very long time. So be sure to start before you're ready. For me, when I started my life coaching business in June of 2011, 10 years ago, I had already been thinking about starting a life coaching business for 6 months beforehand. So I wasted really 6 months of time where I could have been working on my website or getting clients or getting paid or hosting events and all of that stuff because I didn't feel quite ready enough. And I finally bit the bullet and moved forward because I knew if I waited to be ready, I would be waiting forever. And I have so many big dreams and things I want to share with people and ways that I want to help the world that I knew it was a disservice to me and it was a disservice to everyone else if I didn't just get started. And honestly, nothing is ever perfect in my business. I am still making mistakes. I am still being vulnerable and moving forward anyway. So that's my number one tip for you. I want you to start before you're ready. All right. Number two is to give away more than you sell. To give away more than you sell. And this is a common problem that I see with entrepreneurs, especially startup entrepreneurs, is that when you have a product, you just want to talk about that product all the time. And you want people to buy that product. And you want people to sign up for whatever it is that you have. So you're pushing, and trying to sell every single blog post, every single video, every single email that you send. You're selling. And people get tired of that. People don't want to be sold to all the time. And I've noticed if you shift your mindset to more of a way like, how can I help people today? Instead of what can I sell today? How can I get money today? It's really being more of service to your audience. So think about that. What can you give away for free? And I've noticed the more that I give away, the more paying customers I get. I know that sounds a little weird, but when people experience your free stuff, they think, wow, this free stuff is so good. It must be amazing if I buy into her paying stuff. Like, what's she hiding in her paying stuff? That must be so much better than the free stuff. So the free things that I give away, again, blog posts, videos on my YouTube channel. I give away dozens of printable worksheets in my editor's toolkit. I had a podcast for a long time. I do social media posts, or hey, how about this Life Editor Weekend virtual retreat? This is 7 hours of coaching with me for free. So think about that. What can you give away for free in your business to endear your customers to you? This is how they're going to know, like, and trust you. They're going to get a taste of what it's like to work with you through your free stuff. And in the same vein, I want you to have some kind of freebie or lead magnet, though I hate the term lead magnet, or what I like to call it, a valuable free offer. And we have a whole module about creating your freebie. Comment below this video so that you're entered in to win that giveaway. So when you create a freebie, which is a taste of what it's like to work with you, you're letting people see behind the curtain, get a backstage pass to what it's like to really work with you. I know a lot of people who have downloaded my free worksheets or watched my free videos, and they're like, wow, I really like how you presented this. I wanted more. So then they move through my sales funnel and buy some of my other products or sign up for coaching. And it's a really kind of easy way, a no-risk way for them to see what you're really like. And that's definitely what you should be doing in your business. I mean, if you keep everything behind a paywall, how are people going to know you're any good? I find this a lot where I go to businesses' websites or entrepreneurs' websites, and they say things like, I'm the best marketer out there, or I'm the best graphic designer, or I'm the best such and such. And you look and they have no free content. They have no blog, they have no videos, they have no examples, they have no freebies, they have no lead magnet or anything going on. And I'm like, you say you're the best whatever, but you're not proving it. Your free stuff is how you prove that you're an expert without making someone pay first. Right? Because if you are an expert, you don't need to force people to pay to know that you're an expert. Show them that you're an expert and they will willingly pay for what you have. So that's number 2, is give away more than you sell. Leave a comment and let me know, do you have a valuable free offer? Have you already set up your freebie so that you're collecting email addresses for your email subscriber list? Please tell me you have an email subscriber list. If you don't, then you really do need Startup in 60. All right. Number 3, well, let me take a drink first. I got my lemon tea here because I'm talking for 10 hours today. I want to make sure I don't lose my voice. All right. Number 3, to be a great coach, you must coach your clients. What? I know that sounds a little weird, but it is a huge lesson that I had really kind of drilled into me at the beginning because I saw so many coaches not doing this. To be a great coach, you must coach your clients. So I'm speaking to all of you who have a coaching business, whether you're a health coach or a life coach or a business coach or whatever, I'm speaking to you. So in my first year of business, I did a lot of free calls with other coaches just to get an idea of how they were coaching, because I wanted to know, like, how do other people do it so I could get ideas for how I wanted to do it. But a lot of times I figured out ways that I don't want to do it. And I remember very clearly having a call with a coach, and we were doing a video call, and she was a business coach. So someone who helps people set up their businesses. I'm like, great, I want to talk to this business coach and pick her brain and see what she's up to. And so I asked her very specific questions. So I asked her something like, how do I get more traffic to my website? I'm a little unclear about how do I get more traffic to my website? And she looked at me and she just said, what do you think? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know how to get traffic to my website. I didn't know anything about SEO or keywords or anything. So I was asking this business coach to help me. And she just looked at me like, what do you think you should do? And we moved on, and she actually never answered my question. So then we were talking some more, and I asked her another specific thing. I was like, oh, tell me your thoughts about my pricing strategy, because I got this mid-size product. I don't know what I should price it in relation to my other things in my sales funnel. So you can give me some ideas about how I should price this. And again, she looked at me with kind of this wall-eyed look, and she's like, what do you think you should do? And I was like, I don't know. I've been a coach for a few months and I have no idea how to price my stuff. Help me out. You're a business coach. And it was so disappointing and so mind-numbing that I was like, that is exactly not the type of coach that I want to be. So here's the thing. If you are a coach, you are a coach. You are not a therapist. You are not a counselor. You are not a psychologist. You're not any of that. You are a coach, and you must coach your clients. That's what they're paying you for. So here's the thing. I know, Pam, that sounds like therapy and not coaching. Yeah, but she wasn't a therapist. She was a business coach. It just like blew my mind. I'm like, if I wanted therapy, I would go to see a therapist. But I wanted business coaching. I wanted real strategies. Tell me how to do this with my website. And she just was like, she was not there. It was not helpful at all. So I left the call not getting what I needed and wondering, like, why is she a business coach if she's not actually going to coach me? Here's a really great analogy. You're a coach like any other coach. So think of a football coach. Yeah. So a football coach coaches the athletes, the team members. So let's say it's football game, quarterback says timeout, runs to the side, goes talk to the coach of the team, the football coach of the team. It's like, okay, coach, we can't seem to get past these guys. I don't know how we're going to get a touchdown. I don't know how we're going to score. Help us out. What do we do? And the football coach will say something along the lines like, okay, here's the thing. Remember, we've studied this team before. Here's the strategy that I think has the best way for you to get past these guys and get a touchdown. You're going to do these things in this order, and that's going to help you. And then the quarterback will go back into the game and use those strategies. So the football coach is actually coaching. Imagine that. Giving them advice, saying, here's the strategy you should try. Now, the strategy might not always work, and there might be other things going on. But more often than not, it is some kind of tangible advice that the person who's asking for coaching advice can then use. So if you are a coach in any capacity, health coach, website coach, business coach, life coach, whatever, you must coach your clients. Give them the strategies. Don't just look at them blankly and ask them what they would do. That's therapy. That is not coaching. So some of the best compliments that I've ever gotten from my clients are when they've told me that I give them implementable action steps, that at the end of our coaching calls, they have things to do. They have actionable things to do. Ladies, we are not filling this out just for fun. We are doing this for a reason. At the end of this retreat, you are going to have things to do, action steps to help you edit your life. So I know that I'm going off on a tangent here, but that is the biggest thing that really makes me mad is when coaches don't coach. You are a coach. By definition, you give them strategies to lead them to success. So do it. All right, off my soapbox. Number 4 is don't treat your business like a hobby. So I think a lot of us start a business and we think it's going to be so fun and we're working for ourselves. I got to tell you, my first 6 months of business, I was in my pajamas. I was maybe working for like an hour a day. And then I would watch Star Trek reruns. I'd take my dog for a walk. I might paint my nails. I would sit on the couch. I would read. I was treating my business like a hobby, not like something that actually needed to bring in money. So here's the thing. If you are not earning money, you are not a business. You are just an expensive hobby. I don't want you to have an expensive hobby. I want you to actually be earning money. And when you earn more money through your business, then you can help more people. You can provide new services. You can provide new products that maybe you can't do unless you're earning money. When you earn money through your business, you can hire people. You can hire contractors. You can hire an assistant. You can hire a marketing manager. You can lift so many people up by you being successful. So if you're treating your business like a hobby, I want you to remember this, that You are worth so much more than that. And you've got to treat your business like your career, like your job. And you're obligated to earn money through your business. I also want to say that you got to treat your business with respect. You are not here for hagglers, for looky-loos, for discount divas. You got to elevate yourself and say, I'm a professional and I'm not going to let people treat me with disrespect by trying to push me around and get the lowest price on whatever, because you are not a used car lot. You are not a flea market, and you are not a garage sale. You're not. I see too many entrepreneurs treating their business like, oh, I'll let people pay whatever they want. Are you a garage sale? Can I try to talk you down and get this thing for a nickel? No. Act like you are a business. Act like a true leader. And if you have prices that you don't budge on, people will learn to respect you. Remember, we teach people how to treat us. And if you want respect, then you've got to own your worth through your prices and don't deal with hagglers or discount divas. You are better than that. All right. Number 5, you must tell people that your business exists. And this goes along with marketing. And I know it's really hard sometimes that a lot of my clients will put up their website, put up their products and be like, all right, I'm done. And you're not done. You're not done by a long shot. You can't just put up a website and hope people will find you. You have to do marketing to drive traffic to your shop, to your website, to your social media platforms, so that you build this tribe of loyal followers. You can't just wait for people to show up. You need to actively show up yourself where those people are hanging out. So for me, I am a life coach and I help with self-development and productivity. So I hang out on productivity blogs, on productivity social media sites. I go to conferences that talk about planning and organization. And I want you to think about your ideal clients. Where do they hang out? Where do they hang out online? Where do they hang out in person? You must be willing to market and promote your business and tell people that your business exists. Because if you don't tell people your business exists, well, you can have the best products and services, but if they don't know your business exists, then you won't get any sales. I have a great class that's become very popular in the Life Editor Clubhouse membership site, and it's called 50 Ways to Promote Your Business Without Social Media. That is 50 ways to promote your business without social media. So jump into the Clubhouse and you can watch that video. And it's really great for those of us who maybe are intimidated by social media or burned out from social media. Or if your specific clients, potential clients, don't hang out on social media, then you need to reach them where they are. All right, rolling right on. We're halfway through. Number 6, consistency is key. So if you consistently publish content, your blog post content, email your subscribers consistently, you're active on social media every single day, whatever social media platform works for you, people are going to learn to know, like, and trust you. They're going to know, oh, Susie is sending her email every Friday. I'll be sure to watch for it. Or so-and-so has a video every Monday and I love watching it. If you consistently show up and people expect to see you, then you're going to be taking up a spot in their mind. They're going to learn more about you. They're going to learn more about how you run your business. They're going to learn more about your products and services. Here's the thing. They might not need you right then as you are sending your email or as you're publishing your blog post. They might not need graphic design services. They might not need a cleaning service. They might not need a health coach. They might not need a life coach. They might not need jewelry at this time. They might not need whatever it is you're selling. But if they consistently see you in their inbox, on social media, wherever you show up, when they do need whatever it is you're selling, you will be the first person that they think of. Yeah. And it's a long game. You didn't get into your business to get rich quick, right? Right? I hope you didn't just start your business to get rich quick, because it's really a long game and you want to consistently show up and be there for your potential clients so that when they do need you, you'll be the first one that they think of. Okay. I will say that most of my clients who finally hire me to be their coach have been following me for more than a year. And that's just kind of how it is. They go through my sales funnel, they try my other products, but when they're really ready for one-on-one coaching, they've probably been following me for a long, long time. And that consistency has gotten them to be loyal to my coaching services. All right. Let me know which one of these tips is resonating with you right now. Do you do marketing? Have you been consistent with your business? Remember to leave a comment underneath this video, because entering the giveaway is really simple. Just leave a comment either on Facebook or YouTube, and then I will go through the comments and find a winner who will win Startup in 60 for this session. All right. Getting a little bit deep. Number 7 is to be vulnerable. And this can be a little nerve-wracking, but you must be vulnerable in your business. You must show them who you are and how you're different from everyone else. That doesn't mean airing all your dirty laundry and being gross or whatever, but it does mean being real and not just being a facade. So like I said, in my first year of coaching, I did free calls with lots of different coaches just to get ideas how they ran their business. And I found lots of ways that I did not want to run my business based on them. And I will remember this one call, which was very hurtful, where I got on a call with a big name life coach. And she was very popular and lots of people had recommended her to me. And so I got on a free call with her. And this call was right after I had published what is now one of my most popular blog posts, where I talk about my suicide attempt. When I was 15 years old, I was struggling with so many different things. I was being abused in my house. I was failing all of my classes in high school. I was being bullied relentlessly, and I was in a really, really dark, awful place. So I attempted suicide when I was 15 years old. And through my suicide attempt, it sounds strange, but I was able to pull my life together, and I was able to get out of those abusive situations. And I was really able to turn my life around little by little by little, building on my wins until I could be a fully functioning adult without feeling like I'm damaged goods from how I grew up. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like life editing? It sure does. So my suicide attempt is a big part of my background. And I want to show people that you can recover from any type of horrible thing that has happened to you. And you can still have value and bring joy to the world and feel happiness. So I was on a call with this life coach, and she had read my blog post about my suicide attempt. And she very bluntly said, "No one will hire a life coach who tried to kill herself." And that just really stung, how she was just so flippant of my struggle and what I had been through. And she just dismissed that I couldn't possibly have a career helping people because I had once been in a dark place, because I had once struggled mentally, because I had once been abused, that I had no value now. I had nothing to give to the world. No one will hire a life coach who tried to kill herself. Obviously, I did not hire that life coach, and I never worked with her again. And I was more than a little thrilled when she closed her business a year later. I had heard from other people who had said that she had been very rude and very hurtful on their calls. So I was thrilled that she was no longer out there hurting people who had maybe had mental health issues or who were trying to create something from their lives. I can only imagine how many people who she may have said horrible things to and didn't recover from that. Now, I'm a strong person. I survived a suicide attempt. I rebuilt my life from scratch. I got away from my abusers. I feel like I'm really, really strong. So I was able to not take that to heart and realize I do have some value. People will hire me, even though I survived a suicide attempt. So Pam says, "I appreciate your vulnerability and totally see how sharing it makes a lot of sense to share it." Yes, yeah, there's a real reason to be vulnerable in your business. And I have many clients who work with me, and many of them have found me from that blog post because it's very popular, that they appreciated me sharing that I attempted to kill myself as a teenager and that I've recovered from a lot of horrible things in my life. So I want you to think about why people will hire you. How can you be better in your life by being vulnerable? How can you let them in? And here's another way that I see it is that, like, let's say you're trying to hire a personal trainer. Do you want to hire a personal trainer or a nutritionalist who has always been thin, who has always been healthy, who has always been tall and slender and had no problem managing their calories and their portions, who has no problem eating kale? They've always been that way. Is that the type of nutritionalist or trainer that you want to hire? It's not for me. I want to hire someone who used to be 100 pounds heavier and then they lost the weight despite all of the distractions and struggles in their life, despite all the people telling them that they couldn't do it, despite all of the junk food ads and whatever that they're dealing with. That's who I want to work with. I want to work with someone who's successful in the real world, not someone who's had privilege and always been successful their whole life. So I think like that's probably why people like Jillian Michaels, the fitness trainer, is so popular, because she used to be very fat and she lost a whole bunch of weight, a lot of it through counseling and therapy and doing the tough work and getting up every day and working out even though she didn't want to. And she was able to rebuild her life even though she was horribly overweight and unhealthy for a long time. That's why she's popular, because she's done it. She's been through it. This is why Oprah is popular, because she was abused and raped and had horrible things happen into her life and dealt with racism and classism her whole life. This is why she's popular, because she's made something despite the obstacles, despite the challenges. So this is really my mission as a life coach, is to tell you that your flaws, your vulnerabilities, anything that you've experienced, it's a part of you and it's beautiful, and you can help people because you've survived something, because you've come out from it. So don't let anyone tell you that you shouldn't share something because people will judge you. People will judge you anyway. People still judge me for sharing that I survived a suicide attempt. But I know I'm helping more people because I'm being vulnerable, and I want you to be vulnerable too. Tanya says, your story is an inspiration for others. Thank you. Thank you so much. I've been through hell and back. I have really worked really hard to rebuild my life, and I want everyone to know that they can do it too. And it doesn't take sweeping makeovers. It doesn't take throwing your life in the trash, just making these tiny little edits. That's how I did it. And I want to show you guys how to do it too. All right, keep moving on. Number 8, lead your clients through a framework. So this is something that I think a lot of business owners just forget about. But if you can create some kind of framework for your business, for whatever your system is, and you lead your clients through that system, they're going to get much better results than if you just get on a call with them or have a meeting with them and be like, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to do today? I mean, yes, I'm sure they're going to have things that they want to talk about, but is there something that you can lead them through? So that's why I came up with my 5-step life editing process, because I know if you do those 5 steps, you're going to get better results. So think about your field. What are the specific steps in your field that you know from experience will help people get the best results? I don't know. And it's going to be different for whatever it is that your career is. But I bet there are certain things that you've noticed that if your clients do these things in this order, they're going to get better results and they're going to be happier with whatever service it is that you're providing. So create some kind of framework, and it doesn't need to be fancy. It could be 2 or 3 steps, and make it your own, and make sure that you are taking them by the hand and leading them through the framework. Don't let them wonder, what am I doing? Or are we just here to chit chat? Or are we actually doing some work? All right, number 9. This might be the toughest lesson that I had to learn in my business. And sometimes it still makes me a little sad, but I had to kind of get slapped in the face and learn this lesson. You can't save everyone. You can't save everyone. And some people, when you work with them, whatever your field is, they just won't do the work, or they'll be fighting you the whole way, or they only hired you because they want someone to blame their problems on, or everyone in their lives were telling them to do something, so they hired you hoping that you would say something different, but you're actually agreeing with everyone in their life. whatever it is, there will be people who dig in their heels and refuse to do the work. And you can't save everyone. That was really hard for me because I took it personally for a long time when my clients wouldn't get the results that they wanted, but they also weren't doing the work. We would come up with a whole marketing plan and we would check in again a few weeks later and they hadn't done a thing. Or we would come up with a new product and we say, okay, put it up on your website and let's start selling. And they wouldn't do it. And a lot of times they would get mad and yell at me like, why isn't this working? And I would explain, well, when we came up with this plan, why didn't you do the plan? And they would just kind of blow up at me. So I don't really care if you take my advice. And maybe that's weird as a life coach because my whole business is providing advice. But I don't care if you take my advice. I don't care if my clients take my advice. But please do something. So if you don't like my advice, fine. Try something else. Do something. Do what you want to do. If you don't want to post a video, fine. Post a blog post. If you don't want to promote on social media, fine. Here are 50 ways to promote without social media. Like, I don't care if you don't take my advice. I'm not going to take it personally. But please do something. Do anything. Freezing up and not moving is not helpful. That's not going to help you reach your goals. That's not going to help you serve people or be of value to your family and your friends and the people who need you in your life. So when you learn that you can't save everyone, you kind of have to let them go with love. And that can be hard. There have been, I think, only 3 times in my 10 years where I've actually had to fire a client because they became abusive or they were threatening me in some way. And it's always been hard to fire a client. But this is one of the reasons, or one of the ways I've stepped up in my business is that I don't offer refunds. And that kind of puts off people like, what do you mean you don't offer refunds? But I don't offer refunds on any of my digital products. I don't offer refunds on my coaching packages or programs. And I do that because I want to make sure that the people who sign up to work with me are 100% committed. Like, if you know right off the bat that you're not getting a refund, that you're going to pay these thousands of dollars or whatever it is, that you better be all in. You better be ready to do the work. And even if it's not my advice, you better be willing to do something. I'm not going to let you just sit there and not do anything because that doesn't help me or it doesn't help you. So I want you to think about that with your business. There are going to be some people, no matter what you do, that you can't save them. And it's not your job to save them. You're doing your job. You're providing whatever your business is, whatever your services are. And there are going to be some people who just don't do the work. So make sure you create some kind of boundaries in place so that you protect yourself financially and emotionally from people who are going to fight back and say like, why didn't this magically fall into place when I didn't do anything? All right, leave a comment if you've ever experienced a client or someone who just wouldn't do the work, but then got mad when things didn't go their way. All right, we're almost done. Last one, number 10 tip that I learned from my 10 years of life coaching is to invest in yourself. And this is really true for me. And I know it's been true for a lot of my clients that my business did not take off and become successful until I hired my own coach. Did you think about that? Did you think about coaches using other coaches? The best coaches have their own coaches out there. And I couldn't move forward with my business or get to that next level until I actually invested in myself and said, you know, there are things I don't know. I need more support. I can't keep floating out here by myself, winging it. I need a group. I need support. I need somebody telling me, remember, coaching me what I need to do. So I was brave and I paid for a coaching package in a mastermind group, and it changed my life. It changed my business for the better. And I would just gain so much confidence and learn so many things that I had no idea that I didn't know because I had never invested in a coach or invested in a program. So I would say for you, if you can invest in something that can take you to the next level, whether that's coaching or whether that's maybe like a new car that makes you feel really good, or maybe that's dressing up a little bit better, or maybe that's buying a home in a neighborhood that you really want to be in. I'm not saying go into debt or spend all your money like trying to keep up with the Joneses, but sometimes it can be a really, really small change. Like I've noticed with my clients, simply dressing up a little nicer, not buying anything new, but just wearing their nice clothes at home instead of wearing their pajamas all day, elevates them to that next level. And they start thinking, hey, I'm not someone who sits in my pajamas all day. I'm productive. I've got something to show the world. And is there a way, even a small way, that you can invest in yourself, invest in your health, invest in your financial health, invest in your career, invest in your business, invest in your spiritual health, whatever it is. And by spending just a little bit of money and putting some skin in the game, can it elevate you to the next level? One thing I do say with many of my clients is that if you join one of my coaching packages, like you join the Academy, which is open right now, you can apply clicking the link in the description. But if you join one of my coaching programs and you have a business, your very first goal is to earn back what you're paying me through your business during the time we're together. So if you buy a 3-month package, your first goal is to earn back the money that you paid for that 3-month package during the 3 months that we're working together. If you join the Academy, we've got 5 months together and you have a business, you've got a business, you got to be earning money. Remember that? So in those 5 months, your first goal is to earn back the money that you paid to join the Academy. That kind of makes sense, right? Isn't that the whole point of coaching? So I want you to think about, can you spend a little bit of money? Can you invest in yourself? Can you say, I'm worth it in some way? And then use that to propel yourself, to motivate yourself, to inspire you to do more. And a lot of times you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of times you can't move forward unless you have support, unless you have people in your corner who are doing it right there with you, or even someone who's advanced and a little bit ahead of you. What can they show you so you don't make the same mistakes that they made? Don't make my same mistakes. That's what this whole session is all about. All right, so let me quickly recap these 10 lessons that I learned from my 10 years as a life coach. You got to start before you're ready. You got to give away more than you sell. To be a great coach, you must coach them. Don't treat your business like a hobby. Tell people that your business exists. That's doing marketing. Consistency is key. Be vulnerable. Lead your clients through a framework. Remember, you can't save everyone. And remember to invest in your success. All right, you know what we're doing. Pull out your workbook. And at the top of one of the pages, there are life-changing lessons, next action steps. So I want you to think about, even if you're not a coach, how can you incorporate these lessons into your life? Is there a way that you can be a little bit more vulnerable? Is there a way you can let someone go with love because you can't save them and you've got to stop trying to save them? Is there a way you can step up and maybe not treat your business or not treat your career like a hobby? Or how about this? Not treat your marriage like a hobby, or not treat your kids like a hobby. Can you step up and be a better version of yourself? So make sure you write down those next action steps in your workbook. Before we go, like I mentioned, Life Editor Academy is open and you can apply now. So I have a great video testimonial so you can see behind the scenes about what it's like to be in Life Editor Academy. So let me pull that up now.
Hi everybody, I'm Kathy Coco Colangelo and I am a clarity coach and I do retreats for women, heavenly retreats. You can find me at www.yourlifeisnowcoaching.com. The reason that I joined Sage and the Life Editor Academy was because I've had my coaching business for several years now and I've been juggling my coaching business and another part-time job. And I knew that I needed help to stay focused and find my own clarity with my coaching business and the tasks that I needed to do, and I wanted to grow my business so I could leave the part-time job behind and find my total freedom in my business and my life. Well, the favorite parts of my January retreat, one of the first things had to be was while I was here in Orlando, they're getting a big snowstorm back home in Pennsylvania, so that was a bonus. But my other favorite part was just coming together as part of this community of the women in the Life Editor Academy and meeting them all in person, getting to see and work with Sage in person, and share with all these wonderful women. My aha moment here at the retreat was actually just getting some clarity on some of the things that I had learned from the other women and that Sage and I had discussed before, but actually being together in a group and hearing their points of the women's points of view really helped me to get clear on what my push goal should be, and how I needed to go about creating that, and also just discussing one of the books that we read as part of our book club, and getting some clarity on how that worked, how the 12-week year process worked. Well, first of all, Sage is wonderful to work with, and as coaches or entrepreneurs, we are out there just kind of floating around by ourselves. So we need that community, and Sage provides that for us. And we get to work with other women. We get to share our fears, make breakthroughs, and just feel like we're not alone. We're part of a community. We're not out there just working all alone by ourselves. And other people feel the same way that we do. We're not alone with the way that with our thoughts and our feelings and our sense of overwhelm and confusion sometimes.
All right. So we are at the end of this session. And just a reminder, doors are now open for Life Editor Academy. This is our mastermind group for 5 months of going through the life editing process together. You get private coaching with me, plus group coaching. And if you like this Life Editor weekend retreat, we do virtual retreats every single month in the Academy. So click the link in the description, or I put the link up here on the screen. And I would love to see each of you in Life Editor Academy. Again, doors are open now, so you can apply right now. All right, we got another session coming up at the top of this hour, and we are talking about money. We're going to edit your money mindset. So thanks for being here, Life Editors, and I'll see you in the next session.